This video is a continuation of our Windows Server Home Lab series. In this video, we will focus on implementing essential security policies for workplace computers. We will cover how to set up and apply security policies to enhance the security of our desktops, which is vital in a workplace environment. We will also cover how to set different password rules for different users, for example, allowing IT admins to use more basic passwords while enforcing stricter rules for standard users. Later, we will demonstrate how to set unique parameters for different users types like IT admins and regular users. To follow along and create these security policies in this home lab, ensure you've met the necessary prerequisites. You will need a Windows Server with Active Directory tools, the Group Policy Management Console, and a Windows client for testing that's joined to the domain. Okay, for our first activity is configuring password policy to enforce strong password for all Active Directory users. We will set minimum password length, complexity, and age requirements to enhance security, as the default minimum password length in Windows Server is only 8 characters. For stronger security in today's digital landscape, passwords should generally be at least 12 characters or more. Okay, let's go to Windows Server 2022 in our virtual machine. So we're going to open the Group Policy Management. And we're going to expand this. Right click on Group Policy Object, and we're going to create a new GPO. Okay, so we're going to name this Password Policy. Click on OK. And right click on the GPO we just created, which is the Password Policy. Click on Edit. And we're going to go to Computer Configuration. And under Computer Configuration, we're going to go under Policies. We're going to go to Windows Settings, and we're going to go to Security Settings, and over here we're going to go to Account Policies and choose Password Policy. Okay, so click on Maximum Password Age, and we're going to set this to 90 days. And I think when we set this to 90 days, I think it's going to set the minimum days to 30 days. So let's click Apply. Yeah, so the minimum password age suggestion is 30 days. Okay, so it has set the minimum password age to 30 days as well. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to change the minimum password length. So we're going to set it to 12 characters long. Click on Apply. Okay, and after this we're going to set password must meet complexity requirements. We're going to click this, Enable, Apply. So basically what it does is it's going to apply the rules set by the Windows Server, the rules for the password. Okay, so cancel that. Okay, now we're going to implement the GPO which we just created, which is the password policy. So let's drag it to our computer OU. Yeah, it has appeared under the computer OU. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a test account to test this GPO. So let's go to Active Directories, Users and Computers, and let's go to User, and let's make a new user. Okay, let's put in first name and last name. Let's give it a user logon name. Click on Next, put in the password. And you have to check the box that says user must change password at next login. This step is essential because it prompts us to change the password upon login into this account, allowing us to verify whether our password policy is in effect. Okay, so click on Next and click on Finish. Okay, so we're gonna go to our Windows 10 Enterprise PC, and we're gonna select other user, and we're gonna use our test account. And it should prompt us with the password change login prompt. Okay, it says the user password must be changed before signing in. Click on OK. Okay, so to determine if our password policy is working, we will first try using the password of 12345, which is 5 characters long, and it should be rejected as we set the minimum length of the password to be 12 characters long. Okay, it says unable to update the password. The value provided for the new password does not meet the length, complexity, or history requirement of the domain. So the password policy up till now is clearly working. Next, we're gonna use the password of computer science written entirely in lowercase. This password, while it is 15 characters long, it should be rejected due to insufficient complexity. So let's go ahead and try this password again. Okay, we're going to give a password of computer science. Okay. And again, it says unable to update the password. The value provided for the new password does not meet the length, complexity, or history requirement of the domain. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we will enter a password that meets the policy requirement and see if it will be accepted. So this indicates that the password policy is functioning correctly, as the password we provided complied with the established rules. Okay, so in our next activity, we will configure an account lockout policy to protect against brute force attacks. This policy limits the number of invalid login attempts before locking the account for a set period. So let's go to our Windows Server 2022. Let's open Group Policy Management. And we're going to create a GPO for account policy. So right click on the group policy object, click on new. Let's name it account lockout policy. Click on OK. Right click on it, click on edit, and we're going to go under computer configuration, and under policies we will go to Windows settings, and we're going to go to security settings, and we're going to go to account policies, and we're going to select account lockout policy. So over here, we will set the account lockout duration to 30 minutes and the account lockout threshold to 3 invalid login attempts. This will limit the chance of brute force attacks. So let's set the account lockout to 30 minutes. Click on apply. Okay. And we're going to set the account lockout threshold to 3 attempts. Okay, so let's close from here, and we're going to implement this GPO. So let's drag this account lockout policy GPO to our computer OU. Okay, it has appeared down here. So next, we're going to test this GPO. So we're going to go to our Windows 10 Enterprise client machine. Okay, so to test this policy, we will enter incorrect passwords until we reach the lockout threshold. We should receive a message confirming the lockout, showing the policy is effective. Before we test this, we will go to command prompt and we're going to update our GPO. Let's go to command prompt and let's type in gp update/force. Okay, so let's log out from this account. And we're going to put an invalid password. Okay, so after the third attempt, it should be logged out. Okay, so we have got the prompt. It says the reference account is currently blocked. is locked and may not be logged onto. So after 3 incorrect login attempts, our user account has been locked out, and this proves our policy is working. So to unlock this account, let's go back to our Windows Server and open Active Directory, Users and Computers. Okay, so let's find our user, which is Ben White here. Right click on it, Properties, and go to Account. And it says over here, to unlock this account, we have to check this box. It says this account currently is locked out on the Active Directory domain controller. So check this to unlock the account. Click on Apply, click on OK, and let's go back to our Windows client machine. And let's put in the password. Okay, so this password is working now, and this GPO is clearly working. Okay, so in our next activity, we will be configuring user rights assignment. This activity involves assigning and restricting user rights for enhanced security, such as denying standard users access to server directly. For example, we might deny standard users local login or restrict the use of remote desktop services, while we can allow IT staff to access to specific systems. So let's go to our Windows Server 2022. Let's go ahead and open Group Policy Management. And we're going to go over here to Group Policy Object, right click on it. We're going to create a new Group Policy Object for our user rights assignment. So let's name it User Right Policy. Okay, so before you edit this GPO, make sure you have at least 2 user groups created, like HR department and IT department, where you have assigned users to the group. So okay, so after you have done that, let's go to the group policy which we created, which is the account lockout policy. Right click on it, click on Edit. We're going to go to Computer Configuration, Policies, Windows Settings. We're going to go to Security Settings. We're going to go to Local Policies and click on User Right Assignment. Okay, so in here, inside the user right configuration, let's go to Deny Logon Locally. And what we're going to do here is we're going to define the settings and add groups. Example, HR or accounting that shouldn't log on to our servers. So I'm going to put in HR department here because I don't want the staff from the HR to log on to our server locally. So let's type in HR, check name. Okay, click on OK. Okay, apply, and OK. Okay, so now to restrict the RDS, we're going to go here in deny logon through remote desktop services. Double click on it, and we're going to define the settings. And we're going to put HR because we don't want the HR staff to have a remote connection to our Windows server. We're going to check name, click on OK, OK, and apply, and OK. Okay, so let's go up here. And we're going to select this, allow logon through remote desktop services. And we're going to put our IT staff because we want them to have remote desktop connection to our Windows server. So let's put in IT. That's the group name I created. Check name. Click on OK, OK, apply, and click on OK. So let's close from here and let's apply this group policy. Okay, so let's drag this account lockout policy to our computers. Okay, click on OK. Okay, so now to test the deny logon locally policy, we will sign out of the admin account on the Windows server and try logging in with the standard user account from a restricted group, which is HR for me. So let's close this. Let's sign out from here. And we're going to use the user account of the HR staff. Okay, so it says the sign-in method you are trying to use isn't allowed. For more info, contact you at network administrator. So this group policy is clearly working. Okay, now to test the RDS restriction, we will try logging in remotely to our Windows server from our Windows client machine with a restricted user account, and the connection should be denied. We will use the user account of a member from a restricted group, which is HR for me. So let's go to Windows 10 Enterprise. So this user belongs to the HR, so I'm going to use this user account. Okay, so we're going to open remote desktop connection, and we're going to put in the name of our Windows server. So let's go back to our Windows Server 2022. Right click here. We're going to go to Systems, and we're going to copy the name of this device. Copy it. Let's go back to our Windows 10 Enterprise and paste. Type in the password, and the connection should be denied. And we have a prompt that says the connection was denied because the user account is not authorized to remote login. So it is working so far. And let's go and test with our IT staff's user account, and the connection should be successful. So let's go. Let's sign up from here. We're going to use the user account of the IT staff. So that's going to be H. Wilson. Password 1. Okay, so open remote desktop connection. And this is the name of our Windows server that we're trying to have remote desktop connection. So click connect, put in the password. And our connection should be successful. And we are inside. Okay, so we have a successful remote connection to our Windows server from our Windows client machine. So our user right group policy is working properly. Okay, for the last activity, we will set up fine-grained password policies to apply different password requirements to various user groups. For example, we may want stricter policies for admins and more lenient ones for regular users. To set up fine-grained password policies, open Active Directory Administrative Center. So let's go to Start, let's go to Windows Administrative Tools, and let's click on Active Directory Administrative Center. Okay, over here, click on your local domain, the pointer, and then click on System and go down to Password Setting Controls and click on this one. Over here, we're going to create a new password setting object, PSO, for each group by selecting New and select Password Settings. We're going to name the setting as Admin Password Policy. And we're going to set the precedence to 1, which is going to be the highest priority. So basically, precedence determines the order in which the policy objects are applied when multiple password settings are applied to a user or group. So the password setting with the lowest precedence number has the highest priority and will be applied. So for this admin password setting, I will put number 1 to make it the highest precedence, and below here is where you can edit the settings to make stricter policies for the admin. So for the minimum password length, I will put in 15 characters. And for the password history, I will put in 5. Password history determines the number of unique new password that must be associated with a user account before an old password can be reused. Let's put in 5. After doing that, click on Add in the bottom. And we can add the groups where we want this admin password settings to be applied or implemented to. So in this case, I'm going to apply this to my IT staff. So I'm going to type in IT, check names, and click on OK. And click on OK. And now we have created a password setting object for the admin. So you can create other PSO for regular users with less strict requirement by setting the precedence to 2 or more, and you can adjust policies to match your organization's standard, then add the relevant users to the group. And also by applying a PSO with a lower precedent number, it will have priority if a user belongs to multiple groups. So that's it for this episode of our Home Lab series. If you have questions, please feel free to ask in the comment below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.